Hey guys, welcome to Porch Time. We're continuing discussions right here in the heart of District 16 in Dane County. Sitting next to me is a friend. We have been friends quite a while.
20 years, maybe. I don't know. A long time.
20
Yeah.
years. Ladies and
Known each
gentlemen,
other.
this is Carrie Edgar. She's the county director here in Dane County for UW Extension. And where I know Carrie from is Illinois when you were doing similar work down in Brown County.
Right. And Adams.
In Adams
yeah.
County.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were a guest just like this on my show.
That's right. I was county director for Extension there in Adams and Brown.
And what brought you to Dane County, and what are you loving about it up here versus like being down there?
Well, this job brought me to Dane County. I'd always heard good things about Wisconsin Extension, and Madison and Dane County was just one of those places my husband and I always like to visit. So an opportunity came up here to apply for the county director job, and did it. And sure enough, here we are.
Here you are. So it's called UW Extension, and I'm fortunate because we've recently had some appointments from the chair of the board, and I was appointed because I wanted to be. I got my wish, Carrie, to actually sit on the UW Extension committee, which we work with you on implementing things on the county side.
Exactly. It's the oversight committee, so 6 or 7 county board supervisors who we use as an advisory group in many ways to provide feedback, let us know what's the community saying, what are people asking for, what are your constituents looking for, provide us feedback on the programming we're doing, and how that's working in the county, and then also, as opportunities to be advocates for Extension, to get the good word out about the programming that we're doing.
That's why we're here, because I know it's my role if I can sit on the porch and talk about these good things. So let's move into that conversation. I'd be remiss, though, if I didn't shout out, we have a new chair of that committee, and that is my friend from just a neighboring district. That's Brenda Yang, Supervisor Yang. And Supervisor McGinnity is serving as vice chair now. McGinnity's been on this committee.
She was on the committee for the last 2 years, so she's returning again this term. Supervisor Rip has also been on, and then the others are all new.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
There's a lot of new ones.
Yeah.
So let's talk. I said it's called UW Extension, which clearly folks have asked me too. What does that mean? I mean, clearly we know it's an extension of the UW, but so it is that, right?
Exactly. So we feel we embody the Wisconsin idea. We're the outreach arm of the university. What we provide is mostly non-credit, community-based education. It's all evidence-based, it's all research-driven. So it's programming that's coming out, or research that's coming out of the university, and what we do is put it to work in the community. So we think about whether that's youth development programming or agriculture, horticulture, whatever it is the community needs, what's the latest research, and how can we get that out to where people can use it. So
I want to hit on those things because we know 4-H, there's master gardening programs. I want to go through that slew or that, the plethora of what you do. But let me ask you, how do you get that research? How does it come to you? Because that's the part I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Well, there are a variety of different extension specialists on campus. So that usually professors or researchers that have some piece of their position, an extension appointment. And so they may be working on developing research or curriculum. They may be working with our ag educators on-farm research. So we're actually doing plots out on a farm and partnering with local farmers to do that. So the research comes in a lot of different places. Extensions in all 50 states. So in addition to the curriculum and the research that comes out of the University of Wisconsin, we also have access to the other states, as well as the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So there's a series of, like this National 4-H puts out national curriculum that all states have access to.
That's fascinating. I really didn't know it was that comprehensive. And in Wisconsin, this goes back how far? There was a gentleman that kind of was responsible for this, right?
Right. So Extension's over 100 years old nationwide, and it's been in Wisconsin for over 100 years. So it started where we had ag agents that were working with farmers and cooking clubs, so teaching people to preserve their food safely. The 4-H program, that's early where it came from, where there were corn clubs and cooking clubs for boys and girls to get in and learn safe practices for preserving food or improving crop production.
And who was the guy? Was he the? See, this is where our friendship can come out because I'm not putting you on the spot by any means because you were bragging about it and telling me all about it
Yeah,
at the time.
and now I just blanked.
That's okay. You can look it up, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll make it a trivia question. If you know the answer, put it in the comment below, and I'll personally write you a message. And thank you. And you know what's going to happen at the end of the interview. It's going to come to one of us.
Oh yeah, exactly.
After the camera goes off. But we have a great heritage here, a century of this kind of work. So as promised, we're going to go through each program. We're not going to take much of your time, and I'm sure you've got it down to like a water cooler talk or an elevator pitch, if you
Sure.
will. Kind of highlight these programs.
Okay. Well, I'll start with youth development. It's always fun to talk about the great programs that kids are involved in. We have a lot of youth programming in Dane County. The 4-H Community Club program is probably the one that people are most familiar with. We have more than 35 community clubs with over 1,500 kids participating in 4-H programs. In addition, we have our youth and governance program that the supervisors know about. It's where high school age youth can participate with the county board. They attend committee meetings. They have an advisory vote. So they really an up close opportunity to learn about county government.
And I want to pause right there because we recently had a very, might I say, a controversial agenda that came up, and we discussed it and we voted on it. And it doesn't really matter what the issue is. I talked about it in my last talk after a meeting. But this was brought forward by a 17-year-old student who's in that role. It's amazing. And just before she talked, I think you were on the call, we got to see as board members this video they had produced and about how much they love being involved in county government.
Right, right. And they really become strong advocates for everyone getting involved in local government. Because once they see up close how important county government is and the decisions that you all are making every day and how they really impact all of us, then they're like, oh, everybody should be paying attention.
It's so true. You know, and I sit here and I look around. I've gone to a lot of the condos that are near my townhouse here to get signatures and talk to people, and they're like, "Are you running for the town what do you call it, condo association?" I'm like, "No, I'm running for." Well, what does that mean? You know, and it is just what you said, Carrie. I'm just a guy that lives in this building, and I know already in the short time as an elected official the difference I have made.
Yeah.
So it's great when it starts on the younger side of things. So that's youth development.
Mm-hmm. We also do agriculture and horticulture programs. I think people are pretty familiar. That's, kind of goes back to extension's beginning. So we have educators that are working with farms of all kinds. So we have a dairy educator, a crops and soils educator, a water quality educator that's working with farms and farmers on how to improve water quality. We all love our lakes in Dane County, and water is important to everyone. And as well as an organic produce educator who works closely with the CSA and the Diversified Vegetable Farmers. So kind of across the gamut of agriculture.
That's a big thing. Someone had told me once when I was doing something for my other job, working on a video about organic farmers and farmers markets. Someone had quoted that Wisconsin has more organic farmers markets than anywhere else in the country. I don't know that to be true,
I
but
think we rank 1 or 2 every year in organic acres. So we raise a lot of organic produce in Wisconsin.
And you go to the Dane County Farmers Market.
And largest producer-only farmers market in the country.
It is amazing. It's one of the things I missed when I was living in Illinois.
Yeah.
I really couldn't wait to come back for the cheese curds, Friday night fish fries, and the farmers market. All right, I'm kidding you. Very, very good. And then other programs.
Sure. So nutrition education, we have a large nutrition education that's program funded through a federal grant. So the educators are out working with kids, with families, on eating healthy, on food safety and food security, on stretching their food dollars. But really the whole focus is on being healthy and learning to eat well, even when you don't have a lot of funds coming in. And as we all know, with inflation, we're all struggling to pay for food. And so there can be challenges there. So in addition, along that same line, food access and food security.
Which is, guys, it's a big serious issue that a lot of people don't know. I was fortunate when I was down in living in Illinois. Carrie's group asked me to be a part of the food policy program. And unless you many of us volunteer at food pantries and do these things, but what is at the heart of the idea of a community having a food policy and being able to deal with this?
Yeah, our office just staffs the Dane County Food Policy Council, and they really are looking at what are the policy issues that affect the food system for all of us. And so that can be everything from how people access food. So do I have transportation? Do I have a market in my neighborhood or in my community or a small community in rural Dane County? Or do I have transportation to get to it? To food pantry issues, food access issues, getting good food into schools. So a variety of different topics, including access to land. We all know too, farmland is expensive in Dane County and the surrounding areas. So if I want to raise food for my family, how can I access land for either a community garden, or a market garden, or just a large family plot?
You know, I love that. And, you know, as we sit here, we're surrounded by fields, you know, and to me, one of the tenets I ran on, and those have been following my campaign leading to what I do, it is kind of finding that balance. We also live in a community that is growing by thousands every year. You know, you drive up East Wash, that's not the same East Wash I knew 4 years ago. And so for me living here, I've choose to live in a big city, but I also still want the beauty of seeing farmers working their fields and crops coming in. You have to look at both sides. And I love that about UW Extension, because you look at that incoming population to make sure they're fed nutritionally, you know, follow good nutrition value. But you also look at the protection of farmers to make sure that they have a say in it all. So it's fascinating. Seriously, thanks for explaining that. It's a really big thing for me as well. Any other programs, or did we do it?
There's others, community development, natural resources. There's just a wide variety of programming. You know, if you want to learn more, visit our website. There's tons of great information there, and lots of really dedicated, committed educators that are on the ground doing great work here in Dane County.
Speaking of on the ground, if you want to, you could go visit Carrie, of course, in her office. The other cool thing is Laura is going to be on a Porch Talk pretty soon. Laura runs land and water for the county. She's the director there. They share a building.
Yep.
And again, like when you're mentioning water and the importance of that, I mean, I'm sure there's some crosstalk between departments there as well.
Definitely. Our staff work together, particularly on the ag side and around water quality issues, and some of the farmer-led watershed groups that exist here in Dane County, but just across a variety of topics. So yeah, we work with several of the other county departments and really see ourselves as kind of a facilitator, help with community engagement pieces, things like that.
And that's where it all begins, guys. If you ever have any questions for Carrie, you got the website. You can come to me and I can send them on to our friends at UW Extension. But back to that point, where is your building? People can come and drive around and see the beautiful grounds, right?
Right. We do have a teaching demonstration garden around our building. It's 5201 Finn Oak Drive, so out off Agriculture Drive in the southeast corner of Madison. So yeah, come visit the beautiful gardens all the way around. There's vegetable gardens, and then several different types of demonstration gardens. We'll be putting up a greenhouse this summer. So
cool.
The Master Gardener program I didn't mention, we do offer a wide variety of horticulture programs. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
And it's just a great place to come walk, even if you don't want to take a class. Come check it out.
It's a great area, guys. I had the chance to visit the office when I think it was even before I was elected, came to see you. And I got to remind Supervisor Yang, if she's listening, she's got some plants for me. She still hasn't dropped off on my porch.
Oh, yeah.
That you gifted her with when she was out visiting
That's right.
you. So.
She was there the day after the plant sale, I think it was.
And she was so excited. She's like,
Good.
Rick, I got some plants. So, Carrie, thank you for joining me.
Sure, thank you.
And thank you guys for joining me. We'll see you again on this porch, in this district, in this county. Thanks, guys.